What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're here for a Monday Night Raw review for February 10th, 2019. Before we get into the review, what happened this past weekend? We had the XFL make its debut. We had 4 games in 2 days, 8 teams going out there putting their bodies on the line to give you some entertaining football. I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. I did do a review yesterday, or an analysis. It wasn't the best thing, but I did what I could do. So make sure you check that out. Here's the thumbnail for you right there. Week 1 analysis for the XFL. I hope you guys will go check that out. Let's get into this show. As we know, Monday Night Raw, we are getting towards WrestleMania. MVP brought back the VIP lounge. Rhea Ripley was on Monday Night Raw having a match with Sarah Logan for some reason. Matt Hardy, look like this guy is done. Looks like it's done. He's out of here. He's not doing anymore. He's out. He's gone. Good for him. Hope he goes back. He goes to AEW. But the show started off from the Toyota Center in Toyota Arena. There's a difference. From Ontario, California. Tom Phillips brings us here with only 55 days away from WrestleMania, which is 54 now. Tom is joined by Byron Saxton, Hall of Famer Jerry Lawler. We are going to have a women's championship title match in the AOP. Seth Rollins and Murphy are already in the ring with the AOP and Akam and Razor. Rollins walks in. Rollins says he's proud to stand here as our Monday Night Messiah. Rollins talks about how he didn't like the new nickname at first, but it's going on him and he understands it. And okay, let's Viking Raiders, he shows us footage of last week's 6-man with the Viking Raiders and Kevin Owens versus the AOP and Murphy. Rollins goes on and on about how he's frustrated with Owens and his friends. They aren't leaving the ring at night until their message is heard, and out comes Kevin Owens. Owens and Rollins trade some words until Owens brings out the Viking Raiders. They end up going to the ring, but Murphy and AOP meet them at ringside. 6 superstars brawl at the ringside as Rollins watches from the ring, and Samoa Joe comes behind and drops Rollins with a coquina clutch. Fans go wild. So it's great to see Samoa Joe back. He was out for a little bit. I think that also puts to bed this stupid rumor that was started 2 weeks ago that he is suspended. Give me a break. It's just a good thing to see Joe back. Can't wait to see where they go with him for WrestleMania. I'm glad it was only a part-time injury and he's going to make it to WrestleMania. But anyway, he has him in the coquina clutch. Murphy and the AOP come back in and save him. Owens and the Raiders come back in. They're brawling left and right. Murphy is left alone. He's hit with a stunner. He goes to the outside. Joe's music hits, and they celebrate. So, of course, that would be our main event for tonight. Samoa Joe. A couple weeks ago, when they had that tag team title match where Samoa Joe got injured. That originally, if I'm correct, the day before I saw on Twitter somewhere, it was supposed to be an 8-man tag match. The match that we're getting tonight, or last night. So this is WWE's big problems. We get this is that you have matches that get advertised ahead of time, get changed. So how are we as fans supposed to get invested in Raw and SmackDown when you have Carmella and Bayley announced for this Friday? Vince McMahon can walk in on Friday and be like, well, nope, I don't want this match. We're going to do an injury angle and have Carmella be taken out so Bayley can, gloat for a little bit more, and we'll have it another time. That's the type of things that we have in WWE, and this is why the ratings are down so much, is because you can't get invested in WWE whatsoever. Asuka versus Becky Lynch, Women's Championship for Raw. This was definitely a great match. When Asuka is in the zone, and Asuka is Asuka, she's not just phoning it in. She is one of, if not the best woman on this roster. But as good as this match was, and this was a good match, it's all going to be null and void, and nobody's going to be talking about this today, tomorrow, or next week. Everyone's going to be talking about what happened after Asuka ends up getting hit with a rock bottom, a Uranagi. 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch wins. Becky stands tall. Becky raises the title in the air, and out comes Shayna Baszler from behind, making her Raw debut. Dropping Becky from behind, Baszler works Becky over and then goes after her back. And then she takes her mouthpiece out. Didn't see this coming. Pulls her hair back and starts biting the neck and out comes blood. She has blood all on her mouth. In her mouth, she's screaming. After the referee checks on Becky, who's rolling around in pain as the referee checks her. Some fans boo. He marches up the ramp. A frantic Becky's talking with the referees with blood everywhere. So, I didn't expect the vampire gimmick. I didn't expect the vampire gimmick at all. I don't know what this is going to be, why she did this. Was it a real bite? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure there was a blood pack, or she might have put a blood pack there and did that. Really easy to do that if you do things right. I don't know, but I don't really think that they would have had Becky really be bitten, especially with the way things go nowadays, with diseases that can be brought around. That was definitely probably a blood pack more than anything. Referee puts gloves on to tend Becky as we see paramedics come down to check on her. Becky insists that she is fine. She yells at paramedics to take it easy as they check on the wound. Back to commercial break. We see a split screen as Becky is helped away from the ring. Mojo Rawley and Riddick Moss versus the Street Profits. Remember when the Street Profits were cool? Remember when Mojo Rawley was a figment of our imagination? Remember all of this stuff? Remember before when the 24/7 championship was a title that everyone ran away with? Yeah, this match was a quick pin. Riddick Moss, who just made his debut 2 weeks ago, rolled up 1, 2, 3. Oh, double team spine buster splash. My bad. 1, 2, 3. Ugh. Then after the match, Mojo comes to help Moss back to his feet. Moss rolls Mojo up and pins and becomes the new 24/7 champion, and he takes off. So Mojo Rawley enjoyed his 2 week of fame, and it's gone. What else can you say? Mojo Rawley has got to be setting a record for most 2-week pushes in WWE history. What is this, the 10th, 11th, 12th time that he's been relevant for 2 weeks and then just disappears? I don't know what else to say about this, but Mojo Rawley just cannot. It's like Vince McMahon gets interested in Mojo for 2 weeks and then just says, I got a new toy to play with, Riddick Moss. Let's see what we do with him. It's just Mojo Rawley going back to irrelevancy. Mojo Rawley ain't one of the best that they have, but he's definitely somebody he's a good hand. He could do stuff that they could do stuff for them. But having this guy go out there and continue to be like two weeks of a push, and then he's back to catering. How can we? This is like Cedric Alexander. They have no plans for Cedric. He has a match with Angel Garza later in the show. And he doesn't do anything. Same thing with Eric Young. Eric Young is one of the best guys who can make a character work that WWE has, and they do nothing with him. And you wonder why people get frustrated, why people just want to let their contracts run out and go. WWE has no plans for you, then you're just going to sit there in catering. I mean, yes, AEW doesn't have plans for 95% of their for like 90% of their talent, but you see most of their talent every single week. We should be seeing, and it's not squash matches. Like, you should have guys go out there and show you what they can do. Just because they go out there and give you a 10-15 minute match and it's a good match doesn't mean that WWE is going to be putting the rocket ship behind them. Give us a reason to care about these guys, so when people who beat them, it actually means something. Having the Street Profits beat Riddick Moss and Mojo Rawley, it means nothing. Having Riddick Moss beat Mojo Rawley, it means nothing, because we don't care about these individuals. If you would have Mojo Rawley going out there, getting a couple wins here and there, Riddick Moss making his debut, getting a couple wins, when the Street Profits beat them, boom, it means something. Or if they were to beat the Street Profits, boom, it means something. Nothing matters. It just, unless you're a Roman Reigns, a Daniel Bryan, a Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, the AOP and Buddy Murphy right now, who is Murphy again, which this is not the first time he's only been Murphy. Go back to his NXT days with Wesley Blake, they got their names chopped off and it was Blake and Murphy. So, WWE just wasting our time with these men. You have so much talent in WWE, but yet you can't seem to find time to give these guys matches that are going to matter. You can give these guys matches that matter by having them go out there, having a 10-minute match, and fans actually caring because they get to go out there and show you what they can do. Having a 2-minute match is not going to give me a reason to care about the Street Profits or Mojo Rawley or Riddick Moss. Moss just made his debut a couple weeks ago, and I don't really care about him. He was great in NXT with Tito Sabatelli, Then he had a couple weeks as with his regimen thing, his Moss regimen, I think that was it. And then he just disappeared, and now he's up here being the 24/7 champion. Why should we care? The VIP lounge will return as MVP makes his way to the ring. His VIP lounge is set up. Some fans chant his name. He gives us an intro and says he came back because he had an itch to scratch, and he's still balling like Roddy Rich. MVP goes on and introduces his guest. Out comes Drew McIntyre. McIntyre marches down the ring, and he stops at two guys at the bottom of the ramp who aren't sure about letting him through. They want to check his name on the guest list, but that he powers past them and hits the ring. MVP gives some props for doing his thing on the way, and they mention the WrestleMania 36 match with Brock Lesnar. Drew jokes about wanting to point at the sign and does for a pop. MVP wants Drew to keep his eye on the prize and ignore what a non-VIP people are saying behind his back. MVP goes on about how some people think Drew isn't ready to be champion. Not MVP, but some people, which is absolutely true. There are people out there who think that, well, there's majority, and this is going to be with everybody. The majority of people want Drew McIntyre to be champion, but you're always going to have those naysayers who be like, oh, Drew doesn't need to be there. What has he done lately? What has he done outside of winning the Royal Rumble? He's been start, stop since he's been on the main roster. He's been in the three-man bland, the Dogs of War, just team after team after team after team. He hasn't really done anything except win the Raw Tag Team titles and a meaningless title reign. What has he done? Winning the Rumble is fine and all, but Drew McIntyre really hasn't been built up until he started doing this 3-2-1. Drew McIntyre really hadn't been relevant on the roster. MVP wants to be Drew's business manager to help guide him. Drew says, what's the catch? Drew says MVP could be his Paul Heyman. MVP agrees, but he would be a much better looking version. Drew says the difference between he and Lesnar is he doesn't need an external brain thinking for him. Someone talking for him or a business partner kicks in his ass like MVP is doing. MVP says Drew knows better. He's never been an ass kicker, but is an ass kicker. They face off for a second. Drew goes to lead, but MVP grabs him into his arm and tells him not to turn his back because he needs MVP. He drops him with the Glasgow kiss headbutt. Drew gets hyped and takes his shirt and jacket off. His pants pop. He counts down the 3-2-1, drops him with the Claymore, and then he does a mock of the ballin', which is, MVP's gesture. Way off in the crowd. Drew poses in the corner and points at the WrestleMania sign as the music hits. Drew marches out of the ring and stops to intimidate the guys controlling the access to the VIP lounge. Drew poses on the stage and yells out one more time to end the segment. Very, very good segment. Drew McIntyre, since he's been doing this 3-2-1 Claymore gimmick, which on After the Bell a couple weeks ago, he did say this is him being himself. It's no longer just Drew McIntyre, the Glasgow ass kicker. This guy is going out there, and we're seeing Drew Galloway in Drew McIntyre, and that is absolutely fantastic. That is what somebody should be able to do and go out there. People who go out there and are able to be themselves, they get more over than the hokey bullshit that Vince McMahon puts out there on a weekly basis. Why do you think Jon Moxley gets over in AEW? Because he's himself. Jericho, himself. Cody is himself. MJF is himself. So I don't know why MVP was back, why they did the VIP lounge. Apparently he's going to probably have a backstage role, which WWE guess wants to do that. But it was a pretty good segment. Drew McIntyre just showing that he is in the right position at the right time. This dude should be your WWE champion, and it should be the last time Brock Lesnar holds a title in WWE forever. I don't want none of this junk and garbage that Drew McIntyre wins the title or loses at WrestleMania. We're going to hold it off till SummerSlam because that's what they did with Roman. This is the right moment, right time, right guy, and this guy is should be the face of Raw from here on out. When they do the opening video package and you see the very last superstars you see on both Raw and SmackDowns, is that brand's face. And unfortunately, Raw's is Seth Rollins right now. That needs to change to Drew McIntyre, and it needs to change at WrestleMania. And that's to show a video package of Orton's recent attack from Hall of Famer Edge. Orton will be here to explain that attack. Bathroom break, and we see Seth Rollins and Screw backstage, and we go to Angel Garza versus Cedric Alexander. Yes, Angel Garza is on the main roster as of right now, but I don't think he's going to be going back down to NXT. This is a trial basis, pretty much. Yes, he's up here to replace Andrade, But what if Andrade comes back and they're like, you know what? We could use both of these guys, make them a tag team, and which of course would be probably a bad idea because WWE doesn't like to do tag teams. But I would definitely like to see what they could do with them. Zelina Vega could be more than just a business manager for Andrade. She can do it for both Angel Garza and Andrade and make them tag team champions. Cedric Alexander waits in the ring on Angel Garza and Zelina Vega. Vega takes a mic and shows us how Garza debuted on Raw last week by taking out his cousin Humberto Carrillo and then going at it with Rey Mysterio. Garza takes the mic and talks some trash until Carrillo runs down the ring and it tackles Garza. Carrillo unloads on Garza until officials and security hit the ring to pull him off. Garza talks trash on the floor, but Carrillo is held back. Security and referees back Carrillo up the ramp as Vega and Garza taunt him from ringside. Here's the thing. But the fact that you have both Angel Garza, you had Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo at it last week, but then Rey Mysterio came down, and you have Rey Mysterio off for a few weeks, and Rey Mysterio could return on the week after the Super Showdown, which is when Andrade will make his return, is during the Super Showdown. But we could have a tag team match or a tag team feud with him and Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo and Rey Mysterio. It's real simple to do that. The referees order Garza into the ring, the bell rings, and him and Cedric Alexander have themselves a match here. It was a nice short little match here. Garza grabs Cedric, hits the wing clipper in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. It sucks to see Cedric in this position. This guy is too talented not to be used. This guy was the first man to win the Cruiserweight Championship from WrestleMania 2 years ago after Numbnuts was fired for things that pretty much culminated in his firing. We're not going to get into that here. But he was the first guy to do it, had some fantastic matches for the Cruiserweight Championship. And of course, he comes to Raw. They do a bit with him. And when Shane McMahon is facing off against Roman Reigns, he gets a couple weeks of star power, a star push, and it was gone. And now here he is, catering, main event, not being used. And it's a damn shame. Cedric Alexander deserves better than this. It also shows how NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley interrupted Charlotte last week on Raw, not to mention no mention of Charlotte's appearance on NXT, which is kind of messed up because you have WWE trying to make NXT to be the third brand of this company, and then they go and do this where it's like Vince McMahon cannot help himself. He can't just go and give NXT the credit it deserves. Would there have been anything wrong with giving NXT some props and showing NXT on Raw, saying, "Oh, she went to NXT"? No. Charlotte Cruz is backstage with Rhea Ripley, asking if she's still wanting an answer from the Queen. Riley says no because she gets up, gets out, and does what she needs to be done. Charlotte brings up the Takeover Portland match with Bianca Belair coming this weekend. Sarah Logan interrupts and isn't happy with Ripley, thinking she can come to Raw. Logan's like, "Who are you? Who the hell are you?" Ripley's like, "Who the hell are you?" Ripley knocks Logan by asking who she is, and it looks like we got a match for later, which Ripley walks off with Hogan not being happy. Didn't Rhea Ripley come on NXT last Wednesday say that she didn't come to Raw to disrespect the women, but here she comes pretty much disrespecting the women on Monday Night Raw. But I forgot, NXT is the black sheep of WWE. Anything that happens on there doesn't count towards Raw and SmackDown. Bayley vs. Carmella title confirmed for SmackDown as of right now, and wouldn't surprise me if something comes up and they change that. Sarah Travers backstage with Lana and Bobby Lashley for comments on tonight's match with Ricochet. Lana and her Bobby shtick is getting really old. It is. But Sarah Schreiber said, "You said last week you were going to beat Seth Rollins and Ricochet, and you didn't." Lana, of course, yelled at her for that. Lashley looks like he might be getting annoyed. Lashley says he will reintroduce Ricochet to the reality tonight and won't make it a super showdown to face Lesnar. Lashley says Lesnar can thank him for this one, and Lana dismisses her. Again, waste of time. It's a real shame that they even did this storyline and having Lana now being married to Bobby Lashley, even though we all know it's bullshit. And that's because, of course, Rusev is out. He is not getting a contract. I hope he does not resign. I guess Lana resigned last year sometime, which is kind of weird because wouldn't you sign both of them at the same time? But I guess not. And then we get Sarah Logan versus Rhea Ripley. Does this match have to happen? Why is Sarah Logan now a punching bag for everybody? Not a very long match with Ripley getting a couple shots. Hits the Riptide 1, 2, 3. Who cares? It's a squash match. Sarah Logan, again, it's just one of those things that if you're not Asuka, Kairi Sane, Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler now, and Charlotte Flair on Raw, you're going nowhere. Ruby Riott, I guess, is going to be another one. Maybe that's 6. But you have a Liv Morgan. You have a Sarah Logan. And I'm sure there's others too that I can't think off the top of my head that we don't ever get to see. But you have women that you don't even allow us to see. Flair collapsed on the stage as Ripley stands tall and her music hits. We go to replays. Ripley takes the mic and wants to know her answer. Ripley says she's gone to Raw and Flair to NXT, but still no answer. Flair says maybe that's just how the Queen operates. Ripley says maybe Flair just like being royal painting her, you know what? Flair interrupts as the question and has a question before she answers Ripley's question. Ask how do we know that Ripley will still be champion after her match at TakeOver Portland with Bianca Belair this Sunday? Flair does the woo at Ripley. Ripley raises the title in the air, stare each other down, and the segment ends again. Here's the thing. This again shows why Becky Lynch's opponent, Shayna Baszler, should have won the Royal Rumble. Flair had no business winning the Rumble. This has been a massive waste of time. I know why they're doing it. They want to try and do what they can to get ratings for NXT, and they think Charlotte Flair is going to do that. And I have a little bit of bad news for WWE. Charlotte Flair is not a draw. If Charlotte Flair was a draw, you would have been in the 800,000 number. But Charlotte Flair is not a draw, and if she is a draw, she is a minuscule draw. She's not going to help you beat AEW in the ratings, especially with all the stuff that AEW is doing up till Revolution. You're not getting AEW is not going to be beat by NXT on the back of Charlotte Flair. They're building this up because that's what they want to do, and it would have made sense for them to start this build and Shayna Baszler's debut after TakeOver Portland next week, not this week, next week. But what are they doing? They're doing this. Oh, my head hurts from this. Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet. Good match, I guess. But it feels like Ricochet got to do more than he usually gets to. If you notice on Raw and his short stint on SmackDown last year, right before WrestleMania, Ricochet matches on Raw have been about the same match every single week. Nothing new, nothing old, just nothing new, just same things over and over and over again. And then this one, it looked like he got to do a little bit. Ricochet on the top, back suplex, but lands on his feet. Ricochet unloads the kicks in the corner, goes up top for the fans pop, hits the 630. 1, 2, 3. And Ricochet won. This is the way you do this. He's got a match at Super Showdown. They could have did it where Lana does something and it backfires, and that didn't happen. Of course, he wasn't going to lose. I mean, come on. He wasn't going to lose. After the match, a furious Lana throws a fit at ringside as Ricochet goes and leaves. Out comes Randy Orton when he enters the ring and fans boo him. He takes his time and looks around the arena like he did last week. Takes the mic and says he steals everyone an explanation for what he did 2 weeks ago to Hall of Fame Edge, and says what he did to Edge hurt him more than it did Edge. And out comes, for whatever reason, Matt Hardy. Fans can't believe at Matt. He walks in the ring and says everyone wants to know why he did it. And he's in the ring. Matt says Orton is probably thinking, what does Matt give a damn about Edge? Matt talks about his history with Edge, and fans chant Lita. Of all the things you were going to do, that was 15 years ago. Do you really think everyone in the crowd has been watching from 15 years ago? Oh boy, that's just. I think it's not something that you should be like Matt Hardy should be like, oh, that's very respectful. No, that's very disrespectful. It was 15 years ago. Lita's off doing what Lita goes and does. I don't know if she's married or anything, but Lita's off doing her own thing. Edge is married to Beth. Matt's married to Rebby. There was no reason to chant Lita. Matt says there was a time when he absolutely hated Edge, but before that, he and his brother Jeff were really close with Edge and Christian. Matt goes on about how they revolutionized ladder matches. Fans chant TLC, and Matt goes on about what they did with the TLC matches, and it will be a staple in WWE forever. Matt says they went to WrestleMania a few times and stole the show multiple times, and they did it together. Matt goes about Edge's retirement and how he finally made the most miraculous return ever 9 years later, but Orton took that away. But Matt tells Orton to look at him. Matt asks what the hell is wrong with Orton. Orton goes to speak but tries for the RKO instead, and Matt blocks it and they tangle. Orton blocks a side effect and then drops Matt with the RKO in the middle of the ring, and fans boo Orton. He goes to the timekeeper area and brings a steel chair into the ring. Orton places one chair under Matt's head and then uses the other one to smash his head as the referees run down. It's too late. Orton drops the bent chair and stands over Matt, and his fan continues to boo. Orton rolls out of the ring as refs come back, checking on Matt. Fans boo as we go to replays, and Orton stops on the stage and turns around as boos get louder. Orton stares back at the ring, and we go to commercial break. This was fantastic. This was a beautiful send-off for Matt Hardy. He's gone. He's going to be gone. Whether it's AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact Wrestling again, whatever Matt Hardy is going to do. He even posted on Twitter after this, goodbye. So it is the end of Matt Hardy's time in WWE, and that is fine. He did what he set out to do. Matt Hardy left WWE in the middle, I think it was in 2010 or 11, with a very, very bad taste in his mouth. Very bad taste. It was not a good taste. It was not good for Matt Hardy. He wanted to come back and go out on his own terms, go out there, show everyone what he could do. They did that in WrestleMania 2 years ago. He did that. He won the Raw Tag Team titles with his, the Raw Tag Team titles with his brother. And they went out there, and he did everything he needed to do. And good on him. He won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He won the Raw Tag Team titles with Bray Wyatt, the leader of worlds. And I think that was highly underrated. I think they could have did more with that if they did it right, but they didn't. And they had nothing for him. So Matt Hardy, honestly, has done everything he can in WWE. It's time to move on. So after the break, we go to commercial. We come back, and we see how Liv Morgan was attacked by the returning Ruby Riott. Shriver is backstage with Riott now, asking why she was so much animosity for her former partner. Ruby says Liv was her best friend, and best friends know everything about each other. Ruby says she knows the real Liv, and she's like a puppy dog on a leash. Ruby says she's not buying this new Liv who acts like she can strike when she wants to. Ruby says Liv is a follower, and she came back to put her in her place to remind Liv that she strikes when she says so, and she walks off. Okay, that's a pretty bland explanation in my opinion. She's a puppy dog. That's it. I couldn't tell you. Aleister Black versus Akira Tozawa, somebody else that we haven't seen on Raw since they did the whole Raw, the draft. Akira Tozawa was supplementally drafted to Raw, and we haven't really seen him, if at all. Where has he been? Who the hell knows? He's another talent that WWE refuses to use. So Tozawa gets almost no offense in, gets one drop kick. Tozawa mounts some offense, but Black nails a big pop-up knee strike. Black mass, 1, 2, 3. What else can you say? Black sits up next to Tozawa as his music hits. We go to replay and come back to him standing tall. Black takes the mic and says he enjoyed this past few weeks getting to share these intimate moments with fans, and he's appreciated of every person here tonight, because that is what it's all about. Because everyone here tries to escape the given idea of paradise one way or another, and he knows a thing or two about rebelling to paradise. As for himself, Black is starting to feel like an animal inside a cage. He takes a seat in the middle of the ring. Black says those who come out from now on should know it's not him in the ring with them, it's them who will be trapped in a cage with him. Still speaking in tongues and words. Okay. Becky Lynch, who was attacked earlier, is walking backstage after returning from in the ambulance, sirens blaring. We go back to commercial break. The announcer shows the family ringside to receive seat upgrades. Who really cares? Becky Lynch is back out here, which honestly, I think this was stupid because she just got attacked. A human bit her and ripped her skin open. She should be in the hospital getting stitched up and taking it easy. She takes the mic and her name, Becky says the doctors numbed her up, gave her something real nice for the pain, but now she's back on Raw to smash her face in. Becky calls out Baszler. Becky says Shayna got her attention. She don't care how tough Shayna is or who she hangs out with because she ran through them all. Becky says she will break Baszler down week by week, little by little. And Becky says Baszler better find her before she finds her. Tosses the mic and exits the ring, and that was that. Why did we need this? Becky, I would have waited a week and had this started on, but I don't know why they brought Becky back in. I think it was a waste of a segment. I guess they want to try and bring her anti-authoritative self back, the Stone Cold-esque type Becky, who goes out there and does whatever she wants. I guess that was an attempt at that. Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and the Viking Raiders versus Seth Rollins, Murphy, and the AOP. Now, what do I say about this match? It was okay. It's great to see Joe back. I hope he can stay healthy. I'm glad that he will hopefully be heading towards WrestleMania. My question is, coming out of this match, what do we do with Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, Akam Rezar, Samoa Joe, the Viking Raiders, and Kevin Owens? What are these four guys going to be doing at WrestleMania? How many of them are going to be in the Battle Royal? How many of them are going to have matches at WrestleMania? If Murphy and Seth Rollins keep the WWE Raw Tag Team titles, then they gotta have a tag team title match. Honestly, you have four tag teams right there. I mean, yes, Akam and Rezar are part of Murphy and Seth Rollins' stable, but you could have Owens and Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, the Viking Raiders, and Akam Rezar in a triple threat match. Seth Rollins and Akam Rezar could be doing something else. I don't know, but we need to start seeing where these guys are going to be going. Yes, the Elimination Chamber is coming up next month, but I don't know what they're going to be doing. Now, the referee didn't see Murphy tap to Joe. Rollins rolls back in and hits Joe with a stomp. Murphy immediately covers Joe for the pin and the win. After the match, the heels retreat up the ramp. They all stand tall together and stare back at the ring, laughing as the losers of the match, and Raw goes off the air. So, no crazy shenanigans to end Raw this week, just a okay match. Was this a bad episode of Raw? Not really. Raw is actually not the worst show. It's been SmackDown, and, well, Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns has been a big part of that. No Lesnar this week, and no Andrade this week. It was all about Becky Lynch and getting her opponent. We know that's going to happen. Charlotte Flair, I wish they would not waste our time anymore. We already know with Shayna Baszler attacking Becky Lynch this week, makes it even more obvious who's going to be going up against who at WrestleMania. People are asking for Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I don't want another triple threat match for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania, and I don't think Bianca Belair deserves to be at WrestleMania. I don't even think Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair deserves to be at WrestleMania. If they want to do that at TakeOver Tampa, that is fine by me, but I don't want to see it at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre definitely is going to be the guy. It needs to be the guy who wins the title and has almost a year-long title reign. There is nobody. After Drew McIntyre wins this title, he goes to the summer, the spring, the rest of the spring, all the summer, all the fall, all of winter, back to spring. He makes it to WrestleMania 37 in Hollywood as your WWE champion. There is nobody else right now on Raw outside of maybe Joe and Kevin Owens who could be legitimate title contenders to him. Don't want to see it. So that is your Monday Night Raw review. It was a decent show. It's like it's going to be a very long time before Raw is actually a really good show. They have so much they have to do, and I don't think they're ready to do it. But hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, find me on Twitter at The France Club, find me on twitch.tv/The France Club, and I will see you guys Thursday for AEW. Also, again, remember, go check out my XFL Week 1 analysis. I'm going to hopefully do Week 2. Of course, I know TakeOver is happening too, so that's going to be a double upload that day, which I might actually move the Week 2 analysis to Wednesday, because I don't have anything going up on Wednesday at this time. And we'll see what we can do there. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.